Hello and welcome to the VS Code remote development tutorial for the F110 class this semester. So to start off this tutorial, I already have Visual Studio Code installed, as well as I already have the internet connection set up to the F110 car. Alongside this video, we will also release a paper write-up of all of these instructions, including how to install Visual Studio Code if it's not already installed, some additional troubleshooting steps, and some other things that are possible with VS Code. So to start off, again, this is the opening page of VS Code. As soon as you get it installed, it will give you a welcome, maybe some patch notes, but this screen in general. So some quick navigation for Visual Studio Code. We have our Explorer tab. When you have a folder open, this will have kind of the entire folder structure of all of your code. The source control, if you're using the built-in GitHub integration, then this will be where that will happen. You can pull, you can push, commit changes, merge things in this panel. We're not going to be using the run and debug side panel. The one that you will need to install the remote development will be the extensions tab here. So when we go here, we'll search for remote development, and we'll click on that. It's important to note, to install this, you will need an internet connection. So make sure that you're connected to Wahoo or EduRoam before you start installing these. So we'll go ahead and click install here, and we'll give it a second to install. It should be pretty quick. There we go. Once these are installed, you can see that it's got the remote SSH extension, the remote tunnels extension, another two that we won't be using. The main one that we'll be using is remote SSH, so we can go ahead and close this. And now we can go ahead and switch to the Wi-Fi connection for the car. So we're going to go to select network. I'm using car 9, so I'll connect to team 9. We'll give that a second to connect. There we go, we're connected. So to open a remote window, once you have gotten to the home, you're in your home page, nothing's open, you will go down to the bottom left corner where there's two opposing arrows. That is the remote window open utility. It'll have a pop-up window here where you can select a couple different options. We're going to focus on connecting to a host. In this case, the host is the F110 car. So here I've already added a connection with the IP address of the car. I'm going to run through and add a second one to show you guys how to add yours. So when you click on add a new host, you will type in first the username and then at the IP address. So for all of the cars, it should be NVIDIA at 192.168.1.1, and then go ahead and click enter. It'll ask you where you want to save this configuration file. All the teams should save this to their home directories in their .ssh folder. So that's the first option for me. So it'll give a pop-up window in the bottom right. It'll say this has been success. It'll ask if I want to open the config or just straight up connect. We're going to connect to the car, and it'll open a brand new VS Code window where it will ask you to enter your password. So I'm going to go ahead and type the password, which is NVIDIA. And you'll notice in the bottom right corner it will say it's downloading and installing VS Code server. So that's happening on the car. So it's automatically installing kind of its code on the car so that your computer and the car can talk to each other over VS Code, which simplifies a lot of processes. Okay, so now that you know you're connected, if in the bottom left corner it's got a blue tag which labels which SSH connection you're connected to. Again, we're connected to the car, so the IP address should be 192.168.1.1. Some problems I've noted with where this doesn't succeed properly, the installation part, is when the time synchronization is messed up on the car, or there's some other various issues that we'll outline in the written instructions. If those fixes don't work, then go ahead and fill out a form that on Piazza that Umar sent out, and we will go ahead and take a look at the cars. So now that we're in VS Code on the car, so again, this is now a remote development session on the F110 car, which I'm doing on my laptop. So now we can go back to the Explorer tab, and we can open a folder. And you'll notice when I click on that these folders are the folders that are on the car. So this allows us to modify code directly on the car without needing to use Nano or Vim or some terminal-based code editor, which can be very annoying. So I'm going to open Depend workspace. You guys will open your own workspaces, hopefully using some Git management or something. Just for the sake of this tutorial, though, it'll ask for the password again, so read that. And if you give it a second, you can see here on the left side of the Explorer window, it's got all of the files, including the devel files, the source files, all the different packages that are in here, the CMake list, package XMLs. So if you guys were editing the CMake lists, obviously you wouldn't edit this one, but you could add some code here, and you can go ahead and save it using Control S. And now this code is saved on the car. So again, this is not happening on your computer, it's saving the code on the car. You're just editing it on this laptop. Alright, so I'm going to get rid of that so it doesn't mess everything up. Another very useful tool for you guys, this terminal window, let me be here. If you go to the Terminal tab, you can click on New Terminal. And when you click on New Terminal, on the bottom, on the center, will pop up with a terminal window, which is on the car as well. So you can see that I'm logged in as NVIDIA. You can do things like run your ROS commands, run ROS core in here. This is just a full-fledged terminal window. I can run ifconfig and see all the network configurations for the car. Yeah, so this is very, very useful for when you're modifying code. You don't have to use Vim or Nano. A lot easier to do debugging. I can make changes to code, compile it, and run it all on one computer in one kind of integrated development environment. Make changes, add debug lines, stuff like that. So hopefully this tutorial was helpful. One more thing I'll show you is if we close all of VS Code again, I'll just run quickly through it. So if I open up VS Code again to the welcome page, the two opposing arrows in the bottom left corner, click connect to host, and there you go. The IP address of the car should be here after you've done it for the first time. When you click on that, it'll go ahead, pop up in a new window, and you can connect directly again. Thanks.